Hi guys, my name is Emily, and in this video I'm going to share my UChicago essay that was accepted to the class of 2024. If you're coming to this video from the first video I posted on my stats and activities that got me into Chicago, then thank you so much for sticking around. And if you are new to this channel, I really hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you can check out the first video I posted. I'll link that in the description. I'm planning to post all three of the essays, the UChicago essay, the Common App essay, and the Uncommon essay on this channel. And I'm choosing to do this one first because I think it's really important to do research early on, and I hope that seeing an example of some things that stood out to me during my research can help guide some people on how to organize their thoughts and their research into this essay, and to really understand why this school could be a great school for them and to show that in an essay. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope this is helpful. I'm just going to start by reading the essay in full. It is kind of long, so I apologize for that, but after I'm done, I will go into some tips as well that I hope will help. Alright, I have my essay pulled up on my laptop, so let's just get into it. The minute I get home from school, the first thing I think about is coffee. Should I make my signature oat milk latte or pass on the late afternoon caffeine so that I can actually sleep? You guessed it, I usually succumb to the enticing aroma and flavor of my favorite beverage. One unique afternoon, a postcard caught my attention with vivid descriptions of UChicago's 14 coffee shops. Intrigued, I felt that any school that makes my daily dilemma a little more palatable must be the school for me. If I'm accepted to UChicago, I plan to visit every one of those 14 coffee shops during my first 2 weeks. In between analyzing the ambiance, people, music, decor, and of course the coffee, I'll be plenty busy taking advantage of all the other unique opportunities that UChicago provides. The University of Chicago curriculum presents the perfect combination of liberal arts education and research, which I plan to explore primarily as an economics and math student. Economics allows me to exercise both my creative side, which manifests in writing and real-world problem solving, and my analytical side through quantitative research. With its dual focus on scientific and mathematical methodologies and on public policy, UChicago's economics department stands alone. I hope to explore O Economica by joining cohorts and topics from central banking to game theory, and participate in the econometrics game to challenge my data analysis and presentation skills. The Becker-Friedman Institute's research initiatives will inspire me to connect with professors and graduate students across academic disciplines. For example, I'm interested in Professor List's Chicago Experiments Initiative, which applies experimental methods to the study of economic behavior right here in Chicago. Additionally, personalized career advisors and the prospect of a Metcalf internship will allow me to discover where my interests intersect real-world problems and lead to a fulfilling career in the vibrant space of Chicago and beyond. While I will focus my studies on economics and mathematics, I'm enticed by UChicago's dedication to instilling a wide breadth of knowledge. I've considered topics ranging from political science to chemistry to music. UChicago's core curriculum values all of these equally. Another exciting part of the interdisciplinary curriculum is the Big Problem series. Inequality, Origins, Dimensions, and Policy. Is development sustainable? And from neoliberalism to neo-imperialism, combine my interests in economics and public policy to identify complex problems and innovate solutions. I'm also drawn to UChicago's teaching philosophy, which matches my learning style. Instead of measuring progress simply by the quantity of information transmitted, UChicago values discussion, writing, and research as life skills. The classes in high school that challenged and intrigued me most were based on primary source analysis and proof-based theory, which are methods emphasized within UChicago's core. I look forward to making intellectual connections that will impact my views on campus and in life through the stimulation of solving problems with a diverse student body. Along with its emphasis on discussion-based academics, UChicago's devotion to free expression and intellectual diversity is unique. From my volunteer work at the Citizen Advocacy Center, creating a citizen guide that analyzed local procedures on public protest, to my tackling the political polarization induced by free speech debates on college campuses for an English research essay, I have been fascinated by the integration of First Amendment rights into daily life and how that impacts the political and social environment. Unlike many elite colleges, the University of Chicago's political culture is truly a melting pot of ideas, both in and out of the classroom. Finally, I feared that college would mean choosing between academics and music, but UChicago will allow me to expand my artistic pursuits in a truly unique manner by emphasizing both the performance and academic study of music. As a cellist, I look forward to playing in the University Symphony Orchestra and chamber groups, taking lessons from CSO musicians, and combining music with other art forms. Unlike many schools, UChicago provides these opportunities equally to all majors and blurs the lines between music and academics through an intellectual approach to music. One of my most meaningful extracurriculars is the Elgin Youth Symphony Orchestra, conducted by UChicago's own Matthew Shepard. While we perform technically demanding works, such as Bartók's Concerto for Orchestra and Shostakovich Symphony No. 1, the organization also challenges me to think about music intellectually, connecting music, for example, to nature, literature, and movement. Formal rehearsals comprised of Socratic-style discussions ranging from what defines organicism to the historical implications of Soviet communism have instilled in me an appreciation for connections between music and society. Professor Zubikowski's Music and Mind course bears a powerful resemblance to my EYSO studies. UChicago is the only school that will allow me to expand on this academic approach to music, where nothing is black and white, and the process of thinking is valued just as highly as that of performing. Outside of the intellectual benefits UChicago will enable me to pursue, I look forward to connecting with others in a vibrant community like nowhere else. By fostering arts outreach in a culturally diverse community and pioneering social change through economic investment, UChicago provides a place where I will develop my passion for exploring the unknown with a group of people who value building on each other. At UChicago, the inspiration of a postcard and a simple sip of coffee can lead me to meet the mad scientist of Planner Cafe, discover exactly what makes grounds of being so divine, and conduct some experiments in Quantum Cafe to engineer a perfect cup of coffee. All right, so that was my essay. A lot of words. So let me just get into the tips really quick. All right, so the first tip I have is with regards to the word limit. So if you look up online, you will see an FAQ page that basically says their word limit is between 250 and 500 words for this essay, or at least that's their recommended words. My essay was 927 words, so obviously a lot longer than that. And when I talked to people that were admissions officers, and also the general consensus on online forums seems to be that the essay should be no more than 2 pages. So as long as it fits on 2 pages when the admissions officer looks at it, it should be okay. That's about 1,000 words. A little more maybe is like the absolute max, I would say. And when deciding about how long your essay should be, this does not mean you get a free pass to just write as much as you want and not cut it. I did cut a lot out of this essay. I know probably doesn't seem like that, but I tend to write a little too much usually. So definitely make sure you are making decisions to be concise. But I did have, for example, people say, well, if you want to cut out 200 words, just cut this whole paragraph about like free speech or this whole paragraph about music. And obviously I'm really glad I didn't do that because I think that that added to the uniqueness of my essay. So just make sure you don't sacrifice content for a word count, but also don't just write as much as you want because they don't have a word limit. And obviously I hope this video can help with other schools as well, probably more UChicago specific stuff. But if you are applying to another school, they'll probably have much, much shorter word limits. So just keep that in mind. So the next big tip I have is that when you are writing this essay, you should act as if this is the only school you're considering going to. That should be the headspace you're in, and that should be how the admissions officer reads it. Obviously, that's not realistic at all, but if you listen to my essay, I think I did make it pretty clear that these opportunities were all unique to UChicago, and even though I could fit in another school, everything I said in this essay only applied to UChicago, and I made sure to reiterate that with specific examples. So make sure when you are explaining the things you want to get out of college and the things you want to put into college, you directly connect that to research you find from the school. So for example, in my first main paragraph, the economics paragraph, I didn't just say I wanted to be an econ major and UChicago has a really good econ department. I said specifically why I liked econ, what I wanted to get out of it, and why UChicago's approach to econ specifically tied into my outlook on economics. All right, my third tip is maybe a little bit obvious, but make sure that you have a lot of details within this essay. Obviously having a not restricted word count definitely helps me with this, but if you do have a restricted word count on whatever essay you are writing, you still need to make sure you have specific extracurriculars, specific classes, professors, sequences, all of those things. Make sure you are not only talking about generalizations that everyone knows about the school. You should be picking out very specific things that it's clear you did your research and it's clear you have real reasons you want to be going to this school. So this tip kind of goes off of the last one, but in regards to putting specifics in your essay, you have to be really careful not to just have a general outline that you use for every single school and literally Google and word drop, because I think I've heard of a lot of people kind of go down this bad path of thinking it's really easy once you write one wise school essay to just literally Google stuff and copy and paste it basically into the essays, and colleges will see right through that. They'll see that it's very formal and robotic sounding, and it doesn't sound like you put a lot of thought into how you want to organize your essay. So make sure when you put things like specific professors, specific classes, specific extracurriculars, make sure they really have a place in showing why you want to go there and what you want to contribute to the school, and they're not just like research points for you, because they know you're going to research the school. Obviously, everyone has to do that. Make sure you don't just word drop. Okay, so the next tip I have is that especially if you're writing a longer why this school essay, make sure your essay is organized into very distinguishable paragraphs. And one of the main reasons for this is because obviously it's just a tip for good essay writing, but also because knowing that your admissions officer is going to have a hard time reading an 1,000-word essay for every single kid, they should be able to distinctly look at yours and not have a difficult time picking out the main points. They should be able to summarize everything you say into those few main points that your paragraphs are organized by, and then the rest of the paragraph should be there providing supporting details for the main substance to the essay. And I also think something about my essay specifically that I do think potentially added to the engagement and would make them want to keep reading instead of putting down a basically 1,000-word essay is that, one, it had an attention getter in the beginning and also in the conclusion, and two, as I went through the main body of the essay, I got progressively more unique. So I went from the more basic things that everyone says, everyone talks about their major, everyone talks about the core, everyone talks about the teaching style, those kinds of things. And I went more into unique things that connected my high school experience to what I want at UChicago and what I want in the future. And I think that definitely really stood out where they would stay engaged the whole time. The next tip I have is referring to the content and what will help you stand out in this essay. So the first thing with respect to this is not to talk about something that is not specific to the school, but rather specific to the area. So for example, obviously I live close to Chicago, but a lot of people who don't probably love the area of Chicago. But in my essay, I did talk about Chicago, but I only talked about how the school's outreach within that community was something I wanted to participate in. I didn't just talk about liking the city or liking how the campus looked or those kind of superficial things that really don't add to your experience at the school. Make sure everything you say about the culture, the surrounding area, the atmosphere directly correlates to why you want to go to the school and not just the area. And then the second tip I have with respect to content is when you're trying to find things that make you stand out, especially at UChicago, I think a lot of people may fall into the trap of trying too hard to have kind of out there or quirky things. I'm just gonna give probably the biggest example is scav, because that's such a well-known tradition. And when people try too hard to pick out those quirky things that everyone knows about at UChicago, they're not going to stand out. So don't fall into that trap of feeling like you should say things because they're a school staple, when really I didn't add scav to this essay because what would that add? Like, what do I know about scav that someone at the school doesn't know, right? And that's not saying I don't want to participate, because obviously I do, but when I was writing this essay, that was not what was going to stand out to the admissions officers and why I want to go there. So I chose to focus on other aspects of the school culture that I think are less talked about and are more personal to me. But with that said, if a school tradition really, really stands out to you personally and it's something you think you can talk about and that makes that school stand out compared to all the other schools for you, then by all means go talk about it. I just want to, I guess, warn against trying too hard to say what they want you to say or what you think they want you to say, because they just want you to say what is truly unique for you and not just the staples of that school. Okay, the next tip I have is to not talk too much about the future in this essay or too much about the past. There has to be a good balance between these two things, because obviously applying to college is kind of a transitional point in your life. So if you only focus on what you want in a job and all of those things, they have no, I guess, qualifications to you for why they should accept you. And if you only talk about the past and things you did in high school, then you're not focusing on how the school will help you get to where you want to be in the future. So you need to balance throughout this essay supporting what you did in high school that will make you stand out to get into the school and to contribute to the school, and how you want to use the school to help you in the future. And as you can tell in my essay, I honestly didn't have much about the future because I don't know exactly what career I want. I didn't even mention career really, I just mentioned how I want the school to get me there. So don't worry too much about specifics of the future. I think I notice sometimes people do that too much and they really sacrifice showing their own qualifications and showing their love for the school in the present moment if they focus too much on the future. Okay, the final tip I have for this essay is to find a good balance between sounding confident and humble. The main place that I think students go wrong with this is that they are fearful of sounding arrogant or sounding as if they're planning to get into the school, so they unnecessarily say, if I have the chance to do this, I hope to do this, I hope I'm given the opportunity to do this, if you let me do this. Those kind of very, very redundant phrases with every single opportunity they're talking about in their essay. Obviously a problem with this is that it wastes words in an essay that could have a word count, but more than that, it downplays your experience as someone who really sees yourself at the school because you're talking in hypotheticals instead of in a real potential for something to happen. So you'll notice in my essay, I did use those phrases a couple of times because, again, you do need to sound humble. Like, you can't act like you're going to get in. You can't expect to get in. But using phrases like, I will do this, I plan to do this, more clearly shows that you have a lot of desire once you're at that school to really take advantage of those opportunities. And I guess you're not scared of getting turned down because you know that you're right for it. And that, again, while, like, of course, being totally real, there's no way to know for sure if a school will accept you. When you put yourself in that place that you are 100% right for the school and that school is 100% right for you, and that confidence comes through in a humble way, that admissions officer is going to take note of that, and they're going to want you at that school because you very clearly sound excited and grateful to be there. So again, that's a very minute wording thing, but just after you write your essay, just go through it and make sure you don't sound too scared or reserved or like fearful of getting rejected, because it's going to help you a lot more in the long run to be confident. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that helped you get some ideas for some specifics you can look for while you're researching UChicago or any school that you're applying to for that Why This School essay, and also some tips for formatting and things that will help you stand out within this essay. I really hope that was helpful, and I will post my other 2 essays that I submitted to UChicago, the Common App essay and the Uncommon essay. So please subscribe for updates on further videos and like this video if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And also feel free to comment any questions that you may have about your essays or any other specifics related to college applications. I'd be happy to help out with that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck with everything.